The quality that you can get for under $30 in 2022 is honestly pretty crazy. The Soundpeats Free2 Classic are one such example, and I'm here to tell you all about them. Also, be sure to stick around to the very end of the video for the microphone samples and for the comparison rankings, so you will know once and for all if these are truly the king for under 30 bucks. Now, with that out of the way, let's jump straight into it. So first up, let's start with that Bluetooth connection. So the Soundpeats Free2 Classic are featuring Bluetooth 5.1 along with SBC and AAC as their connection codecs. When it comes to Bluetooth range, you can expect right about 33 feet or just a hair over 10 meters worth of range. Now, obviously that's always going to vary depending on how many walls you put in between the earbuds and the device that they're connected to. Now, the Soundpeats Free2 Classic are also featuring single usage mode, and that's where you can use each earbud independently while the other is charging in its case. Now, when it comes to watching videos, so lag or latency, there is little to no latency to be had when you're watching videos on YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, or any of the streaming apps. Now, when it comes to mobile gaming with the Soundpeats Free2 Classic, there's a bit of latency to be had if you're going to be playing any sort of mobile shooting games like PUBG, Fortnite, or even something like Call of Duty. You will experience a bit of latency there. So if you are a competitive gamer in those games, you're probably going to want to look for a set of earbuds specifically for gaming. So now let's move over to the battery life. So Soundpeats was claiming 8 hours with an additional 22 hours in the case. In my own actual testing, I managed to get 7 hours and 27 minutes at 75% volume, and that was using the AAC codec. Now, when it comes to charging the case for these earbuds, they do feature a USB Type-C port. Unfortunately, there is no wireless charging here, but that isn't very surprising considering the low price point of these earbuds. Now, before we move into the next section, did you know that over 75% of the people that are watching my videos aren't subscribed to my channel? Help me change that. I'm trying to build a positive and inclusive community around the latest audio technology, and I'd love it if you joined us. We're also doing live Q&A sessions on Sundays, so make sure you join us. So now let's talk about one of the most important things about a set of earbuds, and that's comfort. The Soundpeats Free2 Classic are featuring a compact round design, so very comfortable for my large ears, and these are going to be very compatible for people with large ears, medium ears, and some people with small ears. Now, these are only slightly bigger than the Soundpeats Mini Pro, just a hair, not huge, but just a hair, but still overall very small in size. Now, one of the questions that people always ask me is whether or not these can be used for workouts. Now, the Soundpeats Free2 Classic do carry an IPX5 sweat and water resistance rating, so you can definitely use them for workouts, but I would not take these swimming. I wouldn't, submerge these underwater or anything like that. Now, when it comes to occlusion or hearing the noises of your body when you're wearing them, when I was walking outside, I could hear my footsteps, I could actually hear my heartbeat and my breathing. So if occlusion is something that bothers you, you might have to look elsewhere. Obviously, these are budget earbuds. They don't have any advanced features, so that is something you want to keep in mind. Now, moving over to grip. The grip on these is actually pretty decent. They do stay in your ears quite well, so long as you take the time to find the proper ear tips for your own ears. Now, the supplied ear tips that are, included in the box are at best, exactly what you would expect for this low price. If you want to get something a little bit better, you can always use a set of the SpinFit CP1025s if you want improved grip and a more comfortable feel. Also, when you get an improved grip, you also get a better seal, so better sound quality. Now, when it comes to sleeping with the Soundpeats Free2 Classic, now, yes, there are people who like to sleep with their earbuds, so I'm talking to those people. You can use these for sleeping, both back and side sleepers. You're going to be able to use these. They don't poke into your ears too much, so overall, it's been a decent experience for me. But be warned, these do feature touch controls, so if you're one of those people who sleep with their hands under their face like this, then it could lead to some accidental touches. At least that's what happened to me when I was doing my testing. But overall, when it comes to comfort, they're very, very comfortable for me. No fatigue or any sort of pain when I'm wearing them. So overall, very, very good. So now let's talk about those aforementioned touch controls. The Soundpeats Free2 Classic are featuring full touch controls. So you get a single tap, a double tap, a triple tap, and a long press. And that gives you access to volume up and down. You get track forward and back. You do get play, pause, answer and phone calls, and your smart assistant. The touch controls are very responsive and they are very easy to locate. It seems like the sensor takes up most of the faceplate on the earbuds themselves, so no issues with doing sort of controls. Now, because they are sensitive and responsive, you will have some accidental touches, so that's something that you're going to want to keep in mind. Be careful with those. Now, I know that in this video, we are talking about some budget earbuds, but I'm also wondering, what is the most that you'd be willing to spend on a set of earbuds that have all of the features that you personally need? Would that be 50 bucks? 150 bucks? 350 bucks? Let me know down in the comment section. So now let's get into the performance of the Soundpeats Free2 Classic. So first up, let's start with the volume. In my measurements, the Soundpeats Free2 Classic managed to get 111 decibels of peak volume, so very loud. For me personally, I'm listening to them around 55 to about 70% for maximum listening. So there's plenty of overhead here if you ever run into like any quiet dialogue in an audiobook, a podcast, or like even a movie or video that you're watching. They're totally going to have you covered. Now, the Soundpeats Free2 Classic are going to be more than loud enough for most. So if you're a volume junkie or maybe hard of hearing, these should be a pretty decent choice for you. So now let's move over to the sound quality. And the sound quality here is what I expect from Soundpeats earbuds. Big bass with some decent treble. Not the best offering from Soundpeats, but it's still good and also pretty tough to complain at such a low price point. But let's break it down. So first, let's start with that bass. Now here we've got some strong sub bass with some good extension. And by sub bass, that's the bass that you can feel as much as you can hear, like it's in the back of your neck and it hits you. So it's punchy, it has a nice kick for both hip hop and rock. These are definitely bass head crew approved. Bass head crew? You guys know what I'm talking about. So definitely for the bass heads out there. Now the test track that I was using to test out that bass was Gasoline by E40 because, you know, Uncle 40 Water, he never fails to bring that thump in his music and production. Now there's no timestamp needed. The whole track absolutely bangs. Now moving over to the mid-range. Now the mid-range is kind of where they struggled a bit. I think it could be better. They're a bit heavy on the mid-bass, which can sound muddy on certain tracks. Not on everything, but on certain ones. For like hip-hop and EDM, it actually sounds pretty good. But with rock, metal, classical, and Latin music, it can get a little cluttered when you have a lot of instrumentation along with vocals at the same time. Now despite this, there are still some decent vocals here for both male and female singers. Both voice types come through with a warm and full tone. So the test track that I was using to test this out was Lithium by Nirvana. Now just wait for the 37-second mark where the full band kicks in for the chorus, and you can hear the Free2 Classic sort of struggle to keep up with everything the band is doing, causing it to sound a bit muddy. Not crazy muddy, but just a little bit. Now it's not a deal breaker for me by any means, but it's something that I definitely wanted to point out so that you know what you're getting yourself into here. Now, moving over to the treble. Now these do have that Soundpeats classic, you know, boosted treble type of sound. It's bright without being sibilant or harsh, so it's not going to be fatiguing in any way. There's even a hint of airiness in the sound, especially with live recordings. Now, the soundstage is better than I expected, but it's still on the narrow side of true wireless earbuds. Now, the test track that I was using for the treble was Head Over Heels by JD McPherson. It's a solid choice to highlight where the Free2 Classic can truly shine with rock music and male vocals. Now, this is the part where I usually give constructive criticism, and it's tough to give criticism on earbuds at such a low price point. While they are missing most, if not all, of the advanced features out there available on earbuds, there are a few basics that I feel should be included on all buds at any price. Now, first up, that's going to be a gaming or a low latency mode. I think a lot of people are out there doing mobile gaming. On a set of earbuds like this, I think it would be a nice feature to have. Now, secondly, there's no fast charging of either the earbuds or the case. To me, I think that's a simple one that could have been included here, you know, at no additional cost, and I think it would have been worth having. And then thirdly, some onboard EQ. Right? Some like preset EQs, like maybe a bass booster mode or maybe like a podcast mode, something like that. That's what the competition is doing. So it would have been kind of nice to see. I'm not asking for full app support, but some built-in EQs, I don't think would have been too bad or too much to ask for. So now let's move over to some comparisons. And today we're going to be comparing the Soundpeats Free2 Classic against the JLAB Go Air Pop and the Soundcore Life P2i, two of the very best earbuds you can get right around that $30 price point. Now, none of these earbuds feature noise canceling or ambient mode, so we're just going to be doing the volume and the sound quality for these rankings. First up, the volume. In first place, we've got the Soundpeats coming in at 111 dB of peak volume. In second place, we've got the Soundcores coming in with 108.9 dB of peak volume. And in third place, we've got the JLAB coming in at 107.4 dB worth of peak volume. Now, these measurements speak for themselves. All three are more than loud enough for me personally, but if you're a volume junkie or hard of hearing, the Soundpeats are going to be your best bet out of these three. And now for the sound quality ranking. In first place, we've got the Soundpeats. Second place, we've got Soundcore. In third place, we've got JLAB. Now, all three sound surprisingly good for this $30 price point. JLAB has a dynamic, punchy sound, but it's not as deep or as crisp as the Soundpeats, despite their own built-in 3 EQ settings. Now, the Soundcores can easily beat Soundpeats for bass, but it's a bit much for genres outside of hip-hop and EDM. They also feature 2 onboard EQ settings, but it's either all bass or none. It's kind of an on-off switch, so I don't know what happened there, but they're a straight-up bass head earbud. Like, if you're looking for all that bass, get those Soundcore P2Is. But overall, the Soundpeats Free2 Classic give you the best tuning here by giving you that deep, rich bass impact, but still giving you some nice treble to round things out. It's a better listening experience overall and across multiple genres compared to the other 2 earbuds in this comparison. So for me personally, if you ask me, the Soundpeats Free2 Classic are definitely going to be the king under $30 at this moment. So now let's move over to some microphone samples of all 3 so you can hear how they sound and figure out which one is going to work best for you. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the Soundpeats Free2 Classic. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously I'm indoors in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the microphone test for the JLAB Go Air Pop. So testing, 1, 2, 3. As you can see, once again, I'm indoors in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the microphone test for the Soundcore Life P2i. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Once again, I'm indoors in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Soundpeats Free2 Classic in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a crowded bar, maybe a busy restaurant, something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the microphone test for the JLAB Go Air Pop in a simulated crowd noise environment. So similar to a busy bar, maybe a crowded restaurant, something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have a microphone test for the Soundcore Life P2i in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a crowded bar, maybe a busy restaurant, something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. As always, you're going to have to be the judge of the microphone quality down in the comment section. Now, one thing to remember after those mic tests, these are sub $30 earbuds, so don't be too rough on them. Now, Soundpeats was kind enough to send these earbuds over for this review. Now, there was no monetary compensation involved, and Soundpeats was not afforded any copy approval or early access to this video prior to it being published here on YouTube. I'm telling you this because I believe in honesty and transparency with you as the viewer. As always, please be sure to watch multiple reviews before making that final purchase decision. Now, if you're interested in seeing your best option under 60 bucks, check out the video that I'm going to leave for you right up here on the screen. With that said, my name is Jefe, and I'm out this bitch. Peace.